You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What is happening on a Wednesday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man? We are coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. 7milecasino.com is the web address to use. Here's the thing. I've been talking to 7 Mile Casino about, can we do something where we bring down great friends? I don't know how you guys feel, Browner, Grande, because Browner, you were saying that after your appearance last Saturday at West Coast BBQ, that you thought that a lot of the listeners were saying, let's get back together. Me, I'm ready to go, man. I'm double vaxxed and I've had a breakthrough case. I'm bulletproof. But I just want to say that I think a Sunday afternoon where there's NFL football games on and we can play poker. I prefer blackjack. We've got Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, the brunch from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. What do you guys think about a Sunday afternoon hanging session to watch football games at 7 Mile Casino? What do you think?
First of all, I don't think they were saying we need to do that. I know they were specifically saying that we need to do more stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can catch me there, just not during a Vikings game. I don't want to watch them in public. I like to moan and groan on my own.
I understand. You know, actually, coming up a little bit later on in the show is JT the Brick. And JT has been a longtime guest here on our show, and he is one of the voices of the Raider organization. You know, this week the Raiders will play the Dolphins and the Chargers will play at the Kansas City Chiefs. But the following week, the Raiders go to SoFi Stadium for their other home game because the Raiders will get to enjoy the home crowd and the home cooking at SoFi Stadium, probably even more so than the Cowboys fans did this past weekend. I don't know if we can organize it this fast, but I think 2 weeks from now, it's not full 2 weeks, about 10, 11 days, when the Chargers play the Raiders at the Raiders home in LA, that might be a good Sunday afternoon to say, hey, why don't we all get together and watch that game? Is that game on like during let me just see what time it is. Oh no, it's actually a Monday Night Football game. Might be.
Can we do that?
Good, bro. Sounds good.
A Monday Night Football game sounds fun, don't you think?
Yeah, we can focus.
You probably can't come, but Alex and I
I can get there. I'll just be a little bit late. I'll get there for the second half of the game.
You could do your show from there without ever mentioning that you're doing your show from there.
That is true. Also, the only other thing is that I was thinking about a Sunday because I wanted to have some of that Sammy's Restaurant and Bar brunch.
I'm pretty sure they can make a special occasion to give you.
I don't need brunch.
Pancakes
whatever.
for dinner.
I don't need pancakes. I mean, listen, I'll be happy with their pizzas. You know.
Yeah. Don't worry, dude. If you go with me, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Whoa! Look at Mr. Samuel.
I'll pick the menu for you. I'll pick out exactly.
Samuel. Look at Samuel.
We won't be splitting things either, like you and Linda used to do. No, you're gonna order your own food, but you're gonna order with the way it comes, not in lettuce wraps.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have a salad because I'm on a diet.
Oh my god!
Plenty of salad there.
I'm on a diet. What can I tell you?
What'd you eat last night? Watch this. What'd you eat last night?
I had grilled chicken, salad, and corn on the cob. That was my dinner last night.
Can you explain to me how a chicken salad is a diet?
Well, I had grilled chicken, then I had salad separately, and then I had corn on the cob.
What was your dressing?
Well, I will admit that I had Caesar dressing on the salad last night. I will admit that. No, but
what
dude,
kind of diet is this?
It's
tighten up, bro. Tighten up,
bro. It's no carbs after 3 p.m. Every time I do this diet, no carbs after 3 p.m., I lose a bunch of weight. Now, look, I'm just telling you right now that I feel fat. It could be, by the way, that I need a haircut desperately. Maybe if I get a haircut, I can go back to eating pizza. Maybe it's my giant Jufro, you know? I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, all right.
Good
Gotta
luck.
lose some weight. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Listen, fellas, let me talk to you about something that happened last night. By the way, Browner, after I ate this dinner, I spent a lot of time watching the Padres last night. I'll throw it to you guys. Did you guys watch the Padres-Giants game last night?
Not a second. I'm out. Listen, y'all had me locked in. I was strapped in. I'm ready to ride. It's over for me. When it's over for me, it's over. No.
I watched most of the game on mute. Me and my fiance were doing a whole bunch of stuff on the side, but I'm not staying up past like 9:30 anymore for him. Like there would be times where I would stay up till 11. Like last night, I think that game ended pretty late. They lost me about 9:45. It was 5-5. I'm like, I'm not staying up for this. Like, because the results don't matter, in my opinion. I
Right.
think like,
Right.
Pointless.
listen, the Cardinals keep winning. They're beating everybody right now. They look like they're the team that you're gonna want to avoid in the playoffs. Like that's the way they're playing right now. So I don't really genuinely think it doesn't matter what the Padres do. They're so far behind with 12 games left. It doesn't matter.
I know. But for some reason last night, given that they didn't play on Monday night, for some reason last night, I was super locked into the game. And I thought to myself, why am I doing this? But then I looked at the crowd and I went, God, the place is packed.
Yeah.
And I really thought, because Rachel and I were sitting around watching the game last night, I really thought that the reason people were at the game, even though it looked like and it sounded like on television, like it was more Giants fans and Padres fans, not necessarily a big surprise, given that the Giants are going to win the division and the Padres are not going to make the playoffs. Padres may not even finish above 500, which is becoming more realistic by the day. But I was watching the game last night. I was saying to myself, I'm watching because I know it's coming to an end. I know there are a finite number, a handful of games remaining for the season. And for whatever reason, even though I know they're not going to the playoffs now, I still feel like I can see the finish line and I committed to running the race. And even though I'm not going to win it, I still want to finish it. So for some reason last night, I found myself sitting there watching the game. But in the ninth inning,
If you turned it off after like the third inning, fourth inning, it was a great game.
Well, right, because Padres seem to have all the momentum. But I'm trying to remember where in the game it was. The Padres were up like 4-1. And in the fifth inning, they were up 4-1.
Fifth or sixth.
And I don't remember who it was, but whoever it was that was pitching for the Giants kind of shut the Padres down. And I said to Rachel, I go, there's the momentum shift right there. Shutting down the Padres bats, right? That's the momentum shift. And then the Giants started to score. Then they tied the game. And then it got into the bottom of the ninth inning and at the top of the ninth inning. And the Giants just put together hits, single, runner scores, and that's playing small ball when you have to manufacture a run. And the Giants are capable of doing it. And the Padres haven't been capable of doing it in a really long time. But I would say that the bigger story, forget about the result of the game, forget about the crowd that was there. I think the bigger story, guys, is what happened before the game. I feel like Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis and the Padres PR staff, I feel like everybody got together and went, hey, guys, we're coming home. Okay. The media is going to want to ask about it. We need both of you guys together to talk about this. And let's, kind of move on. Let's talk about big brother, little brother. Let's talk about these sorts of things happen. There's a lot of pressure right now. And I feel like it was, in some ways, more choreographed than it looked. What'd you guys think about the Machado Tatis presser yesterday before the game?
I found it to be pointless. I really did. Did I know that they had that relationship before they had that press conference? Yup. Did that press conference do anything to change my mind about the lack of leadership from the upper management, from the bench management, from the coaching staff? Nope. Did it stop me from thinking that there is actual turmoil in that clubhouse? Nope. That was to simply show face, to say, hey, we're not mad at each other. We're good. It did nothing to me. It did nothing for me. I don't feel any different than I did yesterday.
Yeah. How about you, Alex?
It reinforced that I like these two guys. Their willingness to just actually do it, even though like the three of us didn't think it was a big deal. I don't know how many people out there thought their incident was a big deal. I think we all kind of know their relationship and believe in their relationship. As far as like what they're saying, we believe it. Little brother, big brother, blah, blah, blah. So their willingness to just stand in front of the media, say whatever they're going to say. You can ask whatever, generic questions you can ask about, and they're willing to stand there and talk to us. Like, to me, I didn't find it necessary by any means, but I also liked it. I was like, cool. They're down. They're showing their frustration. They're showing that, hey, we want to win. We got pissed off. It happens. Let's move on. It's not a big deal. We got to win 13 games in a row. That was it. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I have no problem. And it did nothing for me and it did nothing against me.
Right. Yeah. I'm kind of with you. It's very, it's just sort of vanilla. It's just kind of there. But here's what I do think. I think that organizationally, if you're Peter Seidler and you've already announced when the Padres were hot and everybody thought they were going to the playoffs, and I'll show you a graph here in a second of playoff possibilities and what the Padres were predicted to be versus what reality has turned into. But when they announced that they're going to raise prices as significantly as they did, when they made that announcement, people were thinking to themselves, well, it's a lot of money, to increase ticket prices, but the Padres are better than they've ever been. They've got more superstars than ever. They've got more payroll than ever. Somehow they've got to generate more revenue, and I can kind of understand that. But because the season has tanked and has gone down as far as it has, I really think that organizationally they're like, look, guys, reality is we're not likely going to make the playoffs now. We've already announced that we're raising ticket prices significantly. You're the two faces of this organization. You guys got into a spat in the dugout. You need to get your asses out there and do what Browner said, save some face. This, to me, what I'm getting at is, in some ways, it's a bit of a marketing move. Like, we're not giving up on the season. Don't give up on us. The future is bright. We're going to be together a long time. I just think there's a lot of marketing in that. Yeah.
Marketing to who?
Marketing to the fan base, marketing to the people that are going to have to buy tickets next year or are thinking about buying season tickets, who were saying to themselves 2 months ago, hey, I'll pay the extra 20%. They're good and they're fun and they're going to be good for a long time, versus now the people that are going, I don't want to pay 20% more in ticket prices. I mean, look what happened.
This is why I feel like that exercise was useless. Any season ticket holder for that team right now will be a season ticket holder next year, because you've bought into those two dudes. These two guys having a press conference and reassuring you that they're cool would not stop you from buying season tickets. If the number didn't scare you off of the increase, then a fight in the dugout won't. If anything, that'll make you buy more tickets. So I just feel like this idea that they did that was very driven by someone else and not those two dudes, because they didn't need that. They know they're good between each other.
Well, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this was not like, hey, Fernando, why don't you and me go over there and talk to the media and we'll just tell everybody that we're cool. I would say this was an organizational decision where they're like, you two guys, as the faces of this organization, as the two guys who get paid the most money, the two guys that are going to be here and going to be the cornerstones, the core of our team for the next 6, 7, 8 years, we raised ticket prices. We need you guys as the faces of our organization to get out there and tell everybody you're excited about the future and there's no problem. There's no beef. It's just stuff that happens. Like, get out there and do that. I just don't feel like they did that on their own. That's my point.
Well, it wasn't successful. If that was the drive up ticket sales, they didn't get me to the box office. Mm-hmm. I ain't calling the Padres ticket sales going, yo, you know what? After that press conference, give me 4 seats.
I'm going on Friday. I'm gonna see him off. This is my grand farewell, like the Titanic. Like the Titanic. I'm about to go. Say bye to something I'm never gonna see again, because this season sucks. It's over. I mean, it's not gonna get any better. You're not gonna go beat the. What's that?
You say you're going on Friday. I just was looking at the schedule. So San Francisco for 2 more, and then here comes Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Do we even have to finish that game with Atlanta? Like, why bother?
Because Atlanta's in the middle of a race. So you have to.
Okay.
Technically, there's no E next to the Padres either, so they're still in it.
Well, let me tell you something really quickly. You think about how you're going to afford your Padre tickets next year when your mind is saying, they really let me down, and I'm not sure I want to pay that, but your credit card statement says that you already started to make your payment. Let me give you one suggestion here, everybody. I would love to make a lot more money, okay? And I wish that was my solution. But right now, my solution is, let me cut costs. And I'm going to give you guys a suggestion that I've taken advantage of myself, and that is Gabby.com/greatfriends. Gabi, Gabby.com/greatfriends. Now, you could go to Gabby.com, but I want you to go to Gabby.com/greatfriends, because the advertising agency that is placing this ad is following how much traffic are they getting from us. Gabby.com/greatfriends. It's a completely free service. And here's how you're going to save money. You go to the website, you put in what brand of auto insurance you have, and you put in what policy you have. Then the Gabby software is going to feed back to you about 40 different insurance companies, all big name brands that you've heard of. And they're going to say, here's the exact same coverage, but at a much lesser price. I have 4 cars in my house because I got 3 drivers that are kids, young people, young adults. and myself, I'm saving about $75 a month. So I'm saving about $900 a year because I switched from one insurance provider to another carrier all through Gabby.com/greatfriends. And listen, $900 in a year, I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. Now, if I told you you could save $900 next year because you changed insurance companies by using Gabby.com/greatfriends, you might take that $900 and put it into your Padres tickets that are, obviously going up in price. Gabby.com/greatfriends. It's free. They do not sell your data. They're not going to get you spammed, but they are going to save you a lot of money on your auto insurance. Gabby.com/greatfriends. Alex, can you show us the graph of the playoff predictions and the playoff possibilities of what we all assumed was going to happen with the Padres, the Giants, the Dodgers? Can you put this stuff up on the screen and walk us through this? All right, take a look at this, everybody.
This, if you're watching, this might be a little confusing, so I'll just walk you through it because it's a lot of weird lines. All you got to look at is the navy blue line and how high it was. That was the Padres playoff odds before the season started. We're at 92.5%. And that little trickle down, it's like the end of coronavirus. The Padres' current percentage is 1.3%. This graph makes it a little easier. Here you go. National League West playoff chances before the season. Dodgers were at 98.4% chance of making the playoffs. They have already clinched a spot. The Giants, totally opposite of the Padres. They had a 5.7% chance of making the playoffs. They've already clinched themselves. And the Padres, as you can see, 92.3% chance before the season started and currently 1.3% chance. But if you listen to this show, it's 0.
Yeah. And look, we were talking about the whole Machado Tatis presser yesterday and, who called it and what was the motivation for it. Can we at least just take a look and a listen for everybody that's on radio, for everybody that's watching on YouTube, and for everybody that catches us on television at night on Cox's Channel 4 Your View Network? Let's take a watch and let's take a listen to Machado and Tatis yesterday and this press conference they had on the field before the game. Let's go ahead and watch it.
We handled it internally as a team. We're the leaders of this organization, of this team. So, we're just trying to, with the pressure of trying to win, the emotions that go through everything. We got Fernando over here is about to win the MVP. We got a team that's trying to compete and get to the World Series. We haven't been playing so great baseball, so emotions get involved and gets the better of us at all times. And those are situations that we learn as leaders, as a team, as an organization, and we just get better from that. So, with that being said, we're here to take away the distractions from the team. We got bigger fish to fry. We got bigger things to be worrying about right now than to be worrying about something that's not a big deal.
Yeah, I heard that whole thing. And it was we're trying to win a World Series. When?
Next year.
You did hear him say, my man's about to win the MVP.
I did hear that, and I want to talk about that because you know what? I don't agree with that. I mean, listen, look, you guys know the kind of sports fan I am. I follow the Padres. This year, I've also become somebody who follows along with the Dodgers and the Giants. I'm more interested in the race than ever before. But
can someone win an MVP for 10 starts? Because Max Scherzer should win it. Like what he did to when the Dodgers got him,
impressive.
Not only did it elevate them to another level, because I believe I was looking it up since the deadline. I think they're 34-11, and they're undefeated when he starts pitching.
Yeah.
Not only did they go up to another level, their competitor tanked.
Yes.
Like I know it won't happen. But Max Scherzer winning the MVP, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you really think that Tatis is going to win the MVP? I mean, look, he was on fire in the first part of the season. He's been hurt several times. He's missed a lot of action. He's still put up amazing stats, but his team has fallen apart. I mean, is he really the MVP, Tatis?
According to the statistics,
well, no, according to Machado.
I mean, if you follow who in the National League, if he was in the American League, no. In the National League, I mean, you can give it to someone on the Dodgers, you can give it to someone on the Giants, but do any of those players have the numbers that Tatis has? No.
Well, is it just purely statistical?
I think so.
Yes.
I think in baseball it is. I
Yes.
think Mike Trout wins a lot of MVPs, and he doesn't sniff the playoffs ever.
They had one year. Levon Hernandez won the Cy Young, and he was like 11-12.
And
And
I don't remember that.
and then I think from what I've read, I think like Tatis' closest competitor was Bryce Harper, and the Phillies are just as bad. So
yeah. I don't know. Maybe he will win the MVP, but I'll tell you this:
they don't got to worry about it. They already paid him, so it's not like they have to pay him more.
Wouldn't it be interesting if he wins the MVP?
Want to talk about marketing?
Yeah. What if he wins the MVP and they don't make the playoffs, which they're not going to? And what if Ohtani wins the MVP also in the American League?
Yeah, it's very possible.
I think it's bad for. I think it's bad for your sport. I agree with you in this sense. It's bad for your sport if your best two players cannot be seen at the most important time of the year. If Ohtani is the best player in the AL and Tatis is the best player in the NL or vice versa, I never really can straighten those things out. That's bad for your sport. That's bad for your sport, man.
Out the American League versus the National League. You can't figure that out.
I always mess it up.
We can't do names, so
yeah, we know he always screws up the names.
Right.
Well,
JT the Brick.
You want Juan Soto to win the MVP with the 316 average, 26 home runs, 87 RBIs, and a bad Nationals team? I mean, you know what I mean?
I do know.
The front runners are all on bad teams.
All right, well, hold on. Speaking of front runners, the Raiders are a front runner right now. The Raiders are 2-0, and maybe they have the most impressive 2-0 resume in the early part of the NFL season. From the Raiders, JT the Brick will join us next.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Welcome back. Please join us in welcoming the Race and Sports Radio Show back home to 1090. Join host Felix Taverna every Saturday at 9 a.m. for the very best horse racing coverage in all of Southern California. The all-new and mightier 1090.
SDCCU is an engaged community partner. Each year, SDCCU is proud to support many nonprofit organizations throughout Southern California. Our partnerships allow us to help shape the financial lives of many through volunteerism, financial support, and creating public awareness. The result is a big impact on the communities we serve. SDCCU, it's not big bank banking, it's better. Federally insured by NCUA. Find out more at sdccu.com.
Stadium in San Diego. It has been a sellout the last few days. Royal SC ready to kick off this season. Stadium in San Diego. Professional soccer has finally arrived.
This year, Jobtoberfest is Wednesday, October 13th. It's the largest annual job fair in San Diego County for people with disabilities. Let's hear from one of our major sponsors.
At Marsty, we recognize the value that individuals with disabilities, as well as those in recovery from substance use, can bring to the workforce, especially to those who want to or are currently counseling those with disabilities and substance use disorder. Marsty is proud to partner with Jobtoberfest.
Let's take it up a notch with Kaplan and Crew tonight's Premium Boost, powered by the mightier 1090.
When it comes to buying an electric car, there's a couple things to keep in mind. Electric cars, for the most part, they work like a normal gasoline-powered car, but they do feel slightly different. So going for a test drive in an electric car is super important before you make that final decision. But in addition to that, there's a few things to balance. You're going to have to balance price, range, and space. Most electric cars are smaller than, say, the average truck or SUV. So you have to consider those three things if you're serious about putting an electric car in your driveway. The first thing you have to do is be realistic about how you use your car. And I would advise this of people, even if they're buying a gasoline-powered car or a hybrid or whatever it is, figure out what your needs are, because there's no point in getting a car of any kind then getting it home and finding out, oh my gosh, my dog won't fit, or my child booster seat is too hard to put in. So if you're serious about a certain kind of a car, whether it's electric or gas powered, bring your stuff to the dealership and say, I need to really get my life into this car, and let's just see if that will work or not. That's one way of doing it. But also be realistic about how much you drive every day. If you drive 100+ miles each way every day, you're going to need something that can accommodate that. But if not, you know, something maybe smaller or lesser could work for you. We have our list of best electric cars for 2021, and we picked 10 cars that we think are the best of the best. And the criteria we set for that is that the car had to have a plug. So we did not include hybrids other than plug-in hybrids. So there's two different kinds of hybrids: gasoline electric hybrids or a plug-in hybrid, which uses electricity part of the time. Our rules were the car has to have a plug and it has to be available within the next 6 months. So we came up with a list that have some, I think, really great cars. And if the average person were to drive them, I think they would agree.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's Premium Boost is powered by the mightier 1090.
Southern California radio is a special game, a unique game from the sandy beaches of the Baja and all the way to Santa Barbara. My voice sounds pretty cool. The all-new and mightier 1090. Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearney Mesa Road and the 163.
Up to 30% of COVID-19 patients become long haulers with persistent symptoms months after the infection.
What I've been finding with my patients is that it's taking up to 3 to 6 months for them to recover their endurance, exercise capacity, and get them back to work or to their usual activities of daily living.
What I wasn't able to do was the basic needs, like brush your teeth, take a shower, because of the shortness of breath, the tightness in my chest.
The symptoms that concern me the most, the shortness of breath. So restrictive. You know, you go through and you just take for granted that, you know, you're gonna breathe. And when that gets taken away, it's a scary thought. Unfortunately, I'm 6 months out now from my diagnosis, and I'm still suffering from several of the symptoms.
My experience with the patients I've sent to La Mesa Rehab has been extremely positive. The patients come back with good reports, and when I see them in the office, their exercise capacity has improved dramatically.
I'm getting there because of La Mesa Rehab.
Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearney Mesa Road and the 163.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Orange County Soccer Club fell to the Phoenix Rising on Sunday 2-1. The Rising got the scoring started in the 9th minute. Then who else but Ronaldo Damus tied it up in the 47th minute. OCSC had possession for most of the second half and had the advantage as the Rising were reduced to 10 men. But Phoenix was able to capitalize on an opportunity and scored the game winner in the 86th minute. Phoenix holds a commanding lead in the Pacific Division while OCSC sits at third, still behind the San Diego Loyal. The Rising and OCSC will be matching up 2 more times as the season winds down. Both matches will be at home for OCSC. OCSC is set to take on the Oakland Roots SC this Saturday. Tune into the action right here on Your View. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Here it comes, Jalen Johnson. 3 touchdowns on the night.
Watch out.
And brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
To the end zone. Christakis holds it in. What a catch!
Over the middle, right there in his hand. They throw down towards the end zone. In stride, touchdown, total. Thibodeau breaks another tackle.
Big run up the middle. Touchdown.
This year, Jobtoberfest is Wednesday, October 13th. It's the largest annual job fair in San Diego County for people with disabilities. Let's hear from one of our major sponsors.
At Marsty, we recognize the value that individuals with disabilities, as well as those in recovery from substance use, can bring to the workforce, especially to those who want to or are currently counseling those with disabilities and substance use disorder. Marsty is proud to partner with Jobtoberfest.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
All right, great friends. I want to spend some time this afternoon talking about the Raiders and their 2-0 start to the season, because in my opinion, there are only 7 2-0 teams in the NFL, and the Raiders' 2 wins are more impressive than anybody else's, okay? And I think that's more impressive than the Rams, who had 2 wins over Chicago and Indianapolis. You look around at any of the other 2-0 teams, who has better wins thus far through the first 2 weeks of the season than the Raiders, who beat the Ravens at home in spectacular fashion on opening night in the Monday Night Football game, huge comeback in the overtime win, and then the win on the road at Pittsburgh, particularly because Pittsburgh the week before had gone to Buffalo and won. So the Raiders are 2-0, and to have that discussion here on Kaplan and Crew, JT the Brick is going to join us in a matter of moments from Las Vegas. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, and reminder, 7 Mile Casino, minutes from downtown San Diego. If you love college football on Saturdays or pro football on Sundays, from 9 in the morning till 3 p.m., phenomenal brunch with Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, now inside 7 Mile Casino on the beautiful bay of Chula Vista. See you guys down there. We're going to go down there one Sunday and watch a bunch of games and hang out and play blackjack. It's going to be a lot of fun. But at some point this season, we got to get to Las Vegas and see the Raiders and their new home. Along with Grande and the Brown Man, this is Kaplan and Crew. And here is longtime great friend, one of the voices of the Raiders, JT the Brick, is back on Kaplan and Crew. What's up, Brick?
Great friends, and I can't wait to come to 7 Mile Casino. Brunch, a little blackjack, little background, Chula Vista. Love it, and I love how you treat your partners. You guys are unbelievable. Whoever advertises with your great show gets so much added value. One of the many things I love about you guys. I'm doing great. Vegas is great. Raider Nation 2-0, and as you said, 2 quality wins on top of the Raiders being decimated with injuries, which no one's covering that story because no one knows the Raiders roster. No one knows who's hurt. No one knows who are the new guys on the team because everybody kicks the Raiders in the nuts when they're not winning. And now the Raiders are getting media attention again.
All right, well, take us through that, JT. I mean, let's talk about that because, again, the win against the Ravens was amazing. But then the Ravens, week 2, play the Chiefs and beat the Chiefs, making the Raider win that much more impressive. And I mentioned them going to Pittsburgh. When you go from west to east and you play in the early window and you're playing in a hostile environment against a legendary franchise, against a future Hall of Fame quarterback, I mean, that was another monster win. But if you don't mind, take us to the beginning. Take us through some of these Raider injuries that people are not covering.
Well, first off, their offensive line, they lost last year from last year's team, Rodney Hudson, their center, who's a Pro Bowler. They lost Gabe Jackson, who went to Seattle, and he's a really good player. And then Trent Brown was a bust, stole like $39 million from the Raiders, whatever that number was. He was jetted out to New England, where he's already hurt. But those are 3 stout offensive linemen. So they drafted Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama, the Outland Trophy winner. He got banged up in the game. They lost Denzel Good, one of their starters for the season, with an Achilles on Monday Night Football. Richie Incognito, who you know, Cap, the former Pro Bowler, can't get on the field. He's got a calf, and it's been there all preseason. So if you look at this team, and they're breaking in a brand-new center, Andre James, who played his first regular season start on Monday Night Football. So all of that being said, they won the game. Now, they could have lost the Baltimore game. Carr threw a deflected interception in overtime. Baltimore got the ball back, and thanks to a fumble by Lamar Jackson, the Raiders won. And they were better than Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh doesn't have a very good offensive line, and the Raiders feasted on that with their defense and their pressure. Bottom line is that the Raiders are much better for one reason: Gus Bradley. Gus is a former head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, worked with Gruden in Tampa, architect of the Legion of Boom, was with the Chargers and got the Chargers to play good defense. And now he's calmed everything down. Everybody's lined up correctly. Conservative cover 3 on the back end. No, nothing behind you. Keep it in front of you. They brought in KJ Wright. Denzel Perryman, along with Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue. Now they can get to the quarterback, and that half a second getting to the quarterback has changed everything for the Raiders. Now they can compete on defense where they were awful last year.
JT the Brick is with us. Let me just reintroduce Browner for a second as people are just joining us. JT the Brick is here. JT the Brick from Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM. He also is the voice of the Raiders in the Las Vegas sports radio market. And by the way, I was on his show last week on Mad Dog, and I got a ton of friends from the East Coast in particular, JT, that are driving around 9-10 o'clock at night, and they hear me on your show, and they're all hitting me up. So, I mean, you're reaching a lot of people out there. JT the Brick is here to talk Raiders. Browner, take it away.
I thought the win against the Steelers was far more important from an aspect of how they won than the win against the Ravens. Because the win against the Ravens kind of felt like everybody's making mistakes. Who's going to win this game?
Yeah.
What they did to the Steelers was like, hey, we're here. We're taking this. And I don't think we've seen that from them in a while. Do you think that that's the impression that they want to leave on teams? We're coming to take, as opposed to we're trying to figure out who we are and how to win. Because it feels like it took some time for Gruden to kind of really put his foot on his stamp on this team. And it feels like he's done that. And with David Carr, which no one thought that marriage would work.
Derek Carr, who you refused to call Derek. Yeah.
There's a lot of good things you said there. Yes, they have more of this. Let's be more aggressive. Let's take the game instead of blowing the game. Remember, last year the Raiders were good. Last year they won 8 games, okay? They had first and goal at the 4 against the Chargers, and first and goal at the 4 in overtime with Mariota, and they didn't get in. They kicked the field goal. Justin Herbert beat them. They had Kansas City swept. They beat them in Kansas City, and they had them beat in Vegas with 142 to go. Everybody forgot that. And then they lost the Miami game, which would have put them in the playoffs on the ripping Ryan Fitzpatrick's helmet off on a Hail Mary, craziest ending I've ever seen in a game. And I've seen a lot of crazy endings that went against the Raiders. So the Raiders were better than expected. But what they did was, and guys, this is so unique. I haven't seen this in football in a long time. Their draft picks aren't hitting. Damon Arnett, Cleveland Farrell. A lot of these guys that they took in the first round are not developing quick enough, but they're good players. And if it takes them an extra year, who cares? They're good players. What's working well for them is their free agents. This Casey Hayward is the number 1 ranked cornerback in the entire league after 2 games. You remember him with the Chargers. People say, did he have anything left in the tank? Yeah, he's playing really well. Then they bring in Ngakoue. They go out and they get these other players via trades or free agency that are just fitting so far, 2 games, beautifully in this Gus Bradley system. So Gus had an incredible training camp. They bubble wrapped all these guys. Remember, Josh Jacobs isn't playing. Josh Jacobs, one of the best running backs. They don't even have him ready to go. But the key is Carr. Think about what Carr's doing now. Carr's staying in the pocket later and later, letting Ruggs get open downfield, letting Brian Edwards get a lot of maybe 4 yards deeper in his route. He's got the security blanket with Hunter Renfrow, who is Julian Edelman-esque with them. And then Darren Waller, who can get anywhere from 15 to 19 targets a game. And even when he was slowed down in Pittsburgh, he made the biggest catch to put the game away at the end. So Carr's been fabulous. He's the only player in football to throw for over 800 yards. No other quarterback's thrown for over 700. He almost was lost for the year with an injury at Pittsburgh. His ankle got rolled up on. That could have been it. This party would have been over. But it looks like Carr will play this Sunday. And Tua, as you know, was ruled out. So Tua won't play in that game.
Has your
Jacoby Brissett will be the starting quarterback for Miami. Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead, Alex.
Oh, Miami's a disaster. Has your expectations changed? Has Raider Nation's expectations changed after the first 2 games? Because I told Browner last week when Scott was off on vacation, I said, whoever wins the Steelers-Raider game will now be called a legit team, and whoever loses will be called a fraud. And I actually think that actually happened. I think the Steelers are being called frauds, and the Raiders are now being looked at as an actual threat. Do you think that changed?
Yeah, I think it's changed. I cannot believe Pittsburgh beat Buffalo. I'm still in shock. Pittsburgh was shut out in Buffalo the first half. They didn't score a point. And if they didn't have a special teams block punt, they don't win that game. And then the Raiders, they were exposed. Big Ben was hit 10 times. Tomlin spoke about that. I always thought I had the Raiders this year as a 9-win team, maybe making the playoffs. I put them in with 10 because I get paid very well by them. I thought it was good to do that. So,
Smart decision by you. Good business
thank
decision.
you. Thank you. Call me a shill. Great. My pool's being cleaned right now because of that paycheck coming in. But when it comes to the Raiders, they're a borderline playoff team. But Alex, great point. These wins that they're putting in the bank, and Miami becomes a big one because if they beat Miami, it's their 3rd win in the AFC. Against 3 teams that everybody thought before the season were all viable playoff teams. That'll help in the tiebreaker. And I think their biggest game out of the first 4, I thought the Raiders would be 2-2 after 4 games. 2-2. They're now 2-0. They could go to 3-0. They got the Chargers coming up. And we talk about this. That's their 10th home game. They have 9 home games. They were given the Bears game as their extra home game. That's coming up week 5. Then they have the Chargers before that at home in Inglewood, where there's not going to be 65% fans like the Cowboys. It's going to be 85%.
More.
But that's going to be a tough test because if the Chargers get beaten Kansas City, which I think they will, if the Chargers play poorly in that game, then the Raiders have a really good chance of beating the Chargers. If the Chargers play really good in that game and win or keep it close, I think the Raiders are going to have their hands full in LA against the Chargers. So the next 2 weeks, the Raiders can go to 4-0, or they should be 3-1. And those wins should be enough to get them into the bank of the playoffs with games against Philadelphia, the Giants, the NFC East, Cincinnati. They got some games they're going to win later in the season. Yeah. No one expected 3-1 or potentially 4-0.
Yeah. It's funny. We're talking to JT the Brick, one of the voices of the Raider organization, the voice of sports radio in Las Vegas. And you hear JT at night on Sirius XM's Mad Dog channel. Longtime great friend. A lot of San Diego connections, by the way. So JT the Brick is here. JT, again, I'm looking at this schedule. Miami, I think you chalk that up to a win. The Raiders come to the Chargers, and like you said, it's going to be all Raider fans in SoFi Stadium. Then they've got Chicago at home, who I think will improve as the year goes on, but they're at the beginning stages of the Justin Fields, taking over at quarterback, I think. At Denver could be a competitive game because I think people are surprised by Denver being 2-0, but they've beaten 2 very weak teams in Jacksonville and the New York Giants. And then they've got Philadelphia and New York. By the time they get to Kansas City, I don't want to get way too ahead of myself, but the Raiders could be like 8-0 right now or 6-7, 8-0.
I think JT said
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They could be 8-0 by the time they play Kansas City.
But I think JT said it. I think everybody agrees here. If they lose to Miami, it all comes crashing down.
Yeah.
Everything we're talking about.
And because of the injuries that they have and the fact that they're good, I don't think they're an elite team. They're better than they were last year. I think there'll probably be a loss or 2 mixed in. But, Cap, you give it a best case scenario. If the Raiders were 100% healthy and every team is banged up, look at Baltimore. I think if Baltimore was at full strength, they beat the Raiders on Monday night. They were nowhere near full strength in that game. I'm very concerned. And save this. I'm very concerned about the Raiders' injuries. Josh Jacobs, Marcus Mariota on IR. They could use him on some read option plays. Offensive line, 3 of the starters are out already. I mean, they got a lot of guys banged up. Gruden's got to get them healthy and win games. And this is a big game against Miami. I went back and watched the tape to prep for this week. Miami played so bad against Buffalo, they didn't run to the football. The Raiders, all 11 defenders are running to the football. And you know this, Cap, from playing. Everybody, no matter where you are on defense, get to the football. And I watched Miami. I went back and forth on the tape. They had linebackers. The ball was 10 yards away. They didn't even move. So Brian Flores is going to get in their ass so hard for this game. They got great corners. He's going to say, this is our season. We don't have Tua. We got to rally. We beat the Raiders there last year and knocked them out of the playoffs. We need this type of game. I think the line went from Raiders -1.5 to Raiders -3.5. Maybe it'll go 4.
I got -4 right now.
Yeah, -4 there. This is a tough game because a lot of Raider fans are under the ether right now. They're Super Bowl. If they got to take care of business against Miami, this is the definition of a wounded animal coming in that really needs a big spot to turn their season around. I think this is going to be a hell of a football game.
This is also the first 1 p.m. game in Vegas, right? The first non-prime time. What kind of crowd are you expecting? Do you expect any Miami people there? Are you expecting a full-on Raiders crowd?
No,
that's always the question, right? Like, is it going to be a touristy, are other team fans going to come in and not take over, but have a large presence.
First
so
off,
like a good test.
First off, here's what's changed since Oakland. We want those fans here. This isn't walking through the parking lot in Oakland, which is my favorite place on the planet. And man, there better be no Bronco fans here. No Charger fans here. No, we don't care anymore. This is Vegas. This is entertainment. There's a nightclub. There's a nightclub in the end zone. Okay. People from Miami love nightclubs, right? They're going to spend $50,000 for bottle service and a booth to get into the Wynn nightclub where the chain smokers perform after the game. I do the post game right after the game ends. Brent Musburger throws it to me. One of the greatest honors of my life. Brent Musburger in the final call of every game so far. Final call says like a minute out. Oh, I can't wait for JT the Brick. He's coming up next. This is the voice of my youth. And he's teasing ahead that I'm coming up. So I'm doing this hour post game. The entire building's empty. I mean, the cleaning crew, it's empty. I look down from the press box to the nightclub. Lights flashing, boom, boom, boom. There's a nightclub going off. Not like, hey, get your stuff and finish your drink. You know, this is San Diego. It's 1:05 at night. Get to the front of the bar. We got to shut this down. This is Vegas, where you're paying for the after-game experience. This is the second game. They're honoring Tom Flores. So Tom Flores, I'm doing a lot this weekend. They're giving him his Hall of Fame ring at halftime. There's 9 gold jackets coming in. Think of that. 9. Bolitnikov, Art Shell, Ted Hendricks. Down the list of the gold coats coming in. The place is going to be off the charts. The Raiders won on Monday Night Football. They're 2-0. And yeah, if there's 10,000 Dolphin fans in there, great. They won't be heard. We welcome them. And then when they're done, they have to stay an extra night at the casinos, which are paying for this unbelievable stadium. They're dropping money in restaurants and hotel rooms, and that's how we live in Vegas. Yeah, right. We want that business. We want these fans to feel like they can come here.
Yeah, we're talking to JT the Brick. It's Kaplan and crew with Grande and the Brown Man. Hey, JT, you mentioned that the Raiders pay you well and your pool's being cleaned at this exact moment. I want to have just 1 minute here just to mention one of our great sponsors on the show, and that's Corky's Pest Control. Now, JT, I know you used to live down here in San Diego, and as you know, part of life as a homeowner in Southern California is the potential for termites. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Nobody beats Corky's Pest Control when it comes to termite fumigation. So if you see little sawdust on the bottom of your floor and you're like, what is this? You need to call Corky. Now, when you do, Corky's going to give you a quote right on the phone, and he's going to tell you, here's how much it's going to cost for us to come take care of that termite issue. And that's it. Once he quotes the price, that is the price. He's not going to come to your house and go, oh, it's a bigger job. It's going to cost more money. Once he quotes the price, that is the price. So Corky's Pest Control can help with ants, spiders, rodents. JT, I had a mouse issue here in my house. I was in total denial that I had mice in my house. Corky not only got rid of the mice, but then he fixed the house so that the mice couldn't come in. So any pest control problems you have, you call our guy Cork, or you can just Google Corky's and that'll take you right to his website. That's what he says to do now. But I like to sing the song. Call 1-800-901-1102.
Corky's.
I got you one up on that. So everybody who comes to my house looks around and goes, oh my God, there's no bugs. So we're in the backyard and we have bug control at my house. Once a month they come, they do a little spraying because we have something you don't have. Scorpions. So 2 months ago, I got a dog, beautiful dog in my house. 2 months ago, my wife lifts up one of the water bowls. We have 2, and underneath it, probably the size from your pinky to your middle finger, a scorpion underneath the water bowl. Lift it up. I look, I go, wow. I mean, I could do some damage to my dog, right? We have scorpions, no gnats, no flies, no bugs, nothing. But we have pest control because we have scorpions out here in Summerlin, Nevada, and we got to put them down. So I stepped on that scorpion. I killed that scorpion. I waited a few minutes. I put a glove on in case it was alive, and I threw it in the trash.
Oh, that's great. Hey, by the way, you guys want to hear a really quick, funny story? We're kind of running out of time with JT, but this past weekend I was up at this wedding, JT, and Alex and Brown. I was at this wedding, and I'm talking to this gentleman in the gym who's a guest at the wedding. I've never met him before, and he's wearing a Rebels baseball shirt. And I go, are you an LV fan? He goes, yeah. I go, oh, that's cool. I go, what part of Vegas you live in? Oh, I live in Summerlin. I go, oh, one of my really good buddies lives up there. I said, and he goes, oh, yeah, my kid plays baseball at UNLV. He went to Bishop Gorman High School. I'm like, wait a second. My buddy, his kid just graduated and he went to Bishop Gorman High School. I'm like, you may know these guys. Turns out the guy I'm in the gym working out with and JT, their two sons who are both freshmen in college out. These guys were like best buddies, part of the same like friend group. And like, I'm taking pictures and selfies with this guy going, look, hey, JT, here I am with one of your neighbors, one of your pals. So small world always. And it seems like if you know Vegas, you know JT the Brick. I can tell you that right now.
Well, we'd love to have you guys out in Vegas. Take the show on the road. Come on out here. Please come to a game. See what this experience is about.
JT, 10-10.
Yeah, hold on. Browner here. Go ahead, Browner. We got a minute to go.
10, I'll make it real quick. 10 in 10 seconds. I'll tell you, I'm coming to watch the Bears and the Raiders next month on the 10th, baby. You will see my face.
Absolutely. You come to me at the Torch, the Al Davis 3-story memorial torch, where we do the pregame show. I do it with San Diego and Eric Allen. Eric Allen, who lives in San Diego. Talk about a guy who's got a job of a lifetime. He does all Raiders TV, does the pre and post with me. He's here 2 or 3 nights a week and flies back to San Diego. We're always talking about San Diego. Make sure you come see us. We'd love to host you there. Get your cocktail there at the Torch and get ready for Raiders Bears. It'll be a good one.
All right. Well, Raiders Dolphins this week. I think the Raiders are the most impressive and most surprising 2-0 team right now in the NFL. One of the voices of the Raider organization, JT the Brick. And again, if you're driving around tonight and you want to turn on his show on Sirius XM, the Mad Dog channel, that's where I listen to him. But if you're in Vegas, you can turn him on the radio because that's where he's on. Hey, JT, what's the we got 5 seconds. What's the frequency in Vegas?
920, but the best thing is we're live on the Raiders mobile app.
JT the Brick, enjoy this weekend of the NFL. We'll talk to you real soon. Thanks, JT.
Always a pleasure, guys. Have a great one.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Our massive signal covers an area where over 24 million people reside. So if you're listening or advertising on another station, we have only one question. Why? The new generation of radio, the all-new and mightier 1090. Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearny Mesa Road and the 163.
At La Jolla Cosmetic, we try to help people achieve well-being. And we feel that it's not only important to look good, but also feel good inside. And honestly, what a better opportunity to help my community than being a supporter of an organization such as Las Patronas.
The mission of Las Patronas is to provide financial assistance to local nonprofits that are providing valuable community services in the areas of health, education, social services, and cultural arts. La Jolla Cosmetic has been one of our biggest supporters at Las Patronas, so we couldn't do what we do without their support.
You feel the need and you see the need because we go to visit each grant applicant.
Partnering with groups that are actually dedicated to help your community, it's the best thing that you can do as a responsible business.
Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearny Mesa Road and the 163.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Orange County Soccer Club fell to the Phoenix Rising on Sunday 2-1. The Rising got the scoring started in the 9th minute. Then who else but Ronaldo Damus tied it up in the 47th minute. OCSC had possession for most of the second half and had the advantage as the Rising were reduced to 10 men. But Phoenix was able to capitalize on an opportunity and scored the game winner in the 86th minute. Phoenix holds a commanding lead in the Pacific Division while OCSC sits at third, still behind the San Diego Loyal. The Rising and OCSC will be matching up 2 more times as the season winds down. Both matches will be at home for OCSC. OCSC is set to take on the Oakland Roots SC this Saturday. Tune into the action right here on Your View. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Catch an all-new local show on the Mightier 1090. Please join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. for the Charity Stripe, where you can get 3 out-of-the-box sports minds whose game is knowing yours. Only on a new generation of radio. The Mightier 1090 AM. SoCal Sports Talk.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those afflicted by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Learn more at LaMesaRehab.com.
Teatro means theater in Spanish, and in Portuguese, and in Tagalog, and in Italian, and in so many languages. We have a lot of communities, a lot of culture here, so that is the reason why Teatro is in the name. The mission of Teatro San Diego is to provide arts education to underserved communities, specifically in schools. Our goal is also in tandem with arts education to provide a professional theater company and dance company so that the community can see themselves reflected on stage at the professional level. Places like Subaru have really been so supportive and have helped us come up with projects like the AMI project.
I was so honored to be at an event a few days ago and heard some of the songs from it. These guys rock. This is just an amazing thing that everyone needs to see.
Time now for Kaplan and Crew Tonight's Community Connect.
Shelter to Soldiers selects dogs from shelters and rescue groups all throughout California. Our ideal candidate at Shelter to Soldier is 8 months to a year and a half old. They're confident in different environments. They have strong social drive. Another motivator like food or toy drive. And ultimately, these are dogs that want to have a job and that have a greater purpose to become a service dog. Currently, about 85% of our dogs pass their service dog training. But if they don't pass, they become a career change. We don't like to use the word failure around here. So career change to an emotional support animal, or if that doesn't work out, then they career change to a pet dog. Still finding a loving placement and purpose in life.
Casa de Amparo has been around since 1978, and now we're in the Twin Oaks Valley in San Marcos with a beautiful campus. We work with children and families who've experienced chronic trauma over their lifetime, and we're here to help heal that.
I always told myself, seeing that my mother passed away through domestic violence, that I would never put myself in that position. And if it ever happened, I would leave, but it's easier said than done.
These are foster youth who are not able to manage in a foster home environment. My husband and I have been a part of the San Marcos community in our businesses since 1993.
One of the beautiful things about Kayleen, she started here at Casa de Amparo years ago when we were at the shelter with a church group.
How can we best give back is to volunteer our time.
Because without donors like Bassett, we would not be able to provide the services we provide.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Shelter to Soldier is 9 years young with a mission to save lives 2 at a time. We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need.
I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us.
Shelter to Soldier is a nonprofit, and we're able to do the work that we do because of you, the community. Whether it's an individual donating $5 or whether it's a corporate donor like the Barnes firm that's supporting us and sponsoring multiple dogs that are going to make an impact in the veterans' lives in need.
Him by my side 24/7 has completely turned my life around. It's not just saving both of our lives, it has made an impact on myself, Nigel, my family, my work. So yes, they definitely have saved our lives.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio, SoCal Sports Talk.